Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the marketplace. Coming up this afternoon, fuel station managers bolt as COPEC moves to inspect stations in the Volta region. We'll share the videos with you. Also coming up, the International Labour Organization on tourism amid COVID-19 pandemic. We'll take a look at the hospitality sector. Plus, COVID-19 continues to wreak havoc as rubber companies lose millions to the pandemic. We've got details. Please stay with us. For being with us this afternoon. We begin with fuel matters, and drama ensued at the King's Fuel Station in JoyNews in the Volta region as a station manager bolted and his attendant locked himself when the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers Ghana visited for inspection. The fuel station was believed to be dispensing fuel below the required quantities to customers, enforcing compliance. COPEC, in the company of the media, visited some fuel stations in the Volta region. Here's Fred Duho's report.
The Chamber of Petroleum Consumers Ghana, COPEC, is embarking on an operation, and here in the Volta region we are currently at Joje. And as you can see, this is Sefim oil. Currently they are selling their petrol for 4.099 and the diesel also going for the same price. What we are basically here to do is to check from the pumps if indeed the calibration over there really matches with what they are telling the general public and consumers. The team later caught up with this station attendant, who also locked himself inside. It is unclear which particular breaches there were, but it was obvious there was something amiss at this fuel station.
Senior, are you not selling the fuel? Are you not serving customers? Yes. So why are you running away? What are you doing here that you are running away? Are you cheating people? Can I just say?
After checks on about 15 fuel stations, majority of whom were doing the right thing, this was what Duncan Amwa had to say.
A couple of stations that we visited so far, very good. One or two we've had a few challenges with, but thankfully we've also put the NPA on alert, on notice. And I can confirm that as I speak with you, they have already dispatched men there to go and see to it that whatever games others are playing is taken care of.
Are you surprised when the man in charge of the King's filling station took to his heels?
In truth, it was shocking, but it wasn't surprising at all. It was shocking to see an elderly person knowing very well that he's probably cheating everybody. And so once you come in and ask that, okay, I have my 10-liter can, I want to buy fuel, but let me see what you are going to serve me. At least serve me the 10-liter. And then they said they want a station that was dispensing fuel a minute ago now says the pumps are off. So you suspect, but when you come across these things, it reinforces people's complaints that you receive that some of these stations are actually playing games.
He's bending down in the bush and taking to his heels as we speak. He further stated that the NPA needs to step up efforts. The NPA is sleeping on the job.
I do not think they are sleeping on the job, but I do think that they would need to be resourced further. You have over 3,600 stations across the country. They may not be able to police every single one of them every single day. They do their best, but it is high time we start to name and shame like we have done.
Here at the Ghana-Togo border, Sector Commander of Immigration, Chief Superintendent Fred Rodu, revealed that his officers intercepted 141 gallons of fuel in a makeshift structure ready to be illegally sent to Togo for sale.
There are others too who are also using or taking advantage of this border closure also to engage in illegal smuggling of goods. Some are doing fuel smuggling, some to narcotics.
You mentioned fuel smuggling. How is that possible?
For instance, Saturday, our officers, we had an intelligence that some structures have been erected at some part of the border. So quickly we dispatch officers to go there to go and then monitor True, when we went, we saw packed gallons of fuel, which of course we decided to monitor and see if we can get some persons involved or in connection with the goose. We were not getting the people, so quickly we said no. Then let's take custody of the goose. So we brought the goose to the border. In all, we had 141.
He believes the NPA needs to engage fuel station owners to disallow the filling of gallons to curb the smuggling.
We need to monitor the filling stations, because this fuel are all bought from the filling stations. So they need to at least engage the filling station managers so that if measures can be put in place, so that when they see these yellow gallons of gallons coming to the filling station to buy fuel, they should refuse to sell it to them.
On his part, the Executive Secretary of the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers Ghana, COPEC, Dankanamwa, adds the country loses huge sums of tax revenue through the illicit activities of fuel smugglers, hence the need to empower the NPA and border officials to do more to stop the illegal trade. I am Fred Duho reporting from the Togo border for Joy Business.
All right, some great reporting from Fred Duho. You're watching The Marketplace. Let's turn next to tourism, and the hospitality sector is a great part of tourism. As we reopen, we need to go out, eat, drink, have some fun, sleep over somewhere. Now, with the country reopening in phases, even as the COVID-19 pandemic wears on, many are wondering how much risk they would face if they visit their favorite restaurants or when they check in at the hotel. And so what should guests expect? How can hotels open safely? That's a question I'll be putting to Dr. Joseph Mensah Ansah, who is a certified hospitality trainer with the ILO. He's also a lecturer at GIMPA. He joins us with some insight. Thanks for making time to be with us. We started the conversation yesterday. Hopefully we can continue. Hope you're doing good, sir.
Yeah, I'm doing very well.
Great.
I hope you're doing good too.
I'm doing fantastic. So what should be the major considerations for hotel managers as they open up? What changes should they make?
Yeah, thank you. We are all aware, there's no doubt, that coronavirus pandemic has really dealt a very swift and devastating blow to the industry, both tourism and hospitality industry. Indeed, these are uncharted waters. And this brings along a lot of anxiety and fear and uncertainty. In fact, investors in the sector are concerned, but they still have to keep their heads down and keep the facilities running. Now, some hotels have started opening since the March shutdown, and most of the big ones are still shut, but a few have started opening. Things will never be the same again. There's a new normal, as we say. We've been looking at the reopening and things to do. For me, there are three key things that we'll be looking at. Assurance, assuring the guests that they are safe, building confidence in the guests that the hotels are safe and they can return to the guests, and above all, the comfort of the guests. But to achieve these three, there are 10 factors or issues that I want hotel owners or operators to be looking at. Number one is to prevent the spread of the virus in the hotel or in the facility. And this is in all areas of the facility: housekeeping, food and beverage, both production and service, front of the house. And I will urge the managers or the proprietors to develop SOPs to handle these health protocols. Again, the second point I will be looking at is provide up-to-date information on the COVID, both for guests and for the hotel staff as well. So information should be all around the hotel. People or the hotel should not pretend that there is nothing at stake. There should be enough stickers all over the place. Indeed, one of the ways of building assurance and confidence is to let the guests see that the staff are continuously sanitizing the areas. That will build confidence and assurance in the guests. The third thing that hotels may have to look at is to look at changes in procedures, especially encouraging in-room dining. In-room dining and in-room service. Those will limit the amount of people coming into the restaurant. Most of them encourage them to eat in their rooms. Okay, that will be very good. But that also comes with its own challenges for the hotels in terms of staffing, in terms of production, in terms of service efficiency, and so forth. But if hotels want to progress, in fact, now most guests who even venture the hotels are afraid to sit in a restaurant. So the only way we can encourage them to be comfortable at the hotel is to encourage them to eat in their room. So in-room dining, so hotels that doesn't have the in-room dining will have to develop procedures for in-room dining. Okay. Again, you should try and minimize contact as much as possible during service. So buffet service may now change to a la carte service. Most of the hotels adapted buffet service. They may have to go back to a la carte service, because buffet service, the serving spoons and the serving tools are being touched by all the guests along, and to maybe it may not be too feasible for the hotel staff to be sanitizing the serving tools as we move along. The easier way out is to do a la carte service. Great. One thing that can also assure the customers is to get them to take control over their housekeeping schedule. You know, in most hotels, you are there, they will knock on the door, it's time, housekeeping, you are coming in. For instance, if I'm sleeping for just one night, you better leave me to leave the room before you come and do your change of linen. So that will also build confidence and assurance for the guests. Social distancing in all the public areas should be ensured, and guests should be encouraged to wear their mask, either face shield or face mask or nose masks, when they're in the public areas. So these are some of the few issues that we can look at.
That's fantastic. And for hotels that had to accept people to quarantine, I bet it's a much more difficult task for them when you talk about reassuring customers. How do you think they should approach it?
Communication. They should tell the public what they have done after the COVID quarantine guests are gone. What protocols were put in place. And as I said, it boils down to communication. Because these hotels are known, they are out there, their names are out there. Okay, so they have a bit of an uphill task to communicate better and specific as to what they have done after the COVID guests left the hotel.
Okay, let's talk about opening and not running at a loss. So you talk about stuff like in-room dining, other things that they have to do, which may see them incur some more costs. How do they manage that so that they don't run at a loss?
The truth is that things will never be normal again. In fact, for hotel operations to normalize, I'm giving myself more than a year. Minimum will be 2 years for us to normalize. We have to cut costs, adapt new processes and new procedures, look at staffing structures, working hours. For the guests, already the demand is low. And if you increase the cost, the demand will fall further. So you want to maintain at least the level of demand that we have now by not increasing costs, by cutting our own costs.
And it's not just about the customers, right? It's also about the safety of the workers.
Perfect. Perfect. Staff, in fact, confident staff will offer confident and quality service. So training and information sharing among staff and ensuring that staff adhere to the PPE protocols, that will get the guests to know that the staff are confident and that they can also be assured that they are safe in the hotel. So it actually starts with the staff. The staff should be wearing their PPE, should be ensuring that they are safe, social distancing and so forth should be adhered to strictly.
Okay. And well, finally, we talk about how things have changed over time because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Do you think that we would ever come back to normal in terms of the way things are approached when we visit the hotels and restaurants? Or do you think that the COVID-19 pandemic is going to bring about some changes that are going to be lasting?
Certainly. There's a new term, a new normal.
Yeah.
So even if you return to the normal, you return to a new normal. Formerly, you could walk into any hotel, but now, as soon as you enter the hotel, they direct you to the washrooms or they pump something into your arms to rub yourself with it. You have to wear a nose mask, and if you don't have, the hotel will provide you with a nose mask. So things are changing. Fortunately for us, guests understand. Okay, but we should encourage the guests to let them know that we are on their side and that we are there for their safety and for their comfort. When we do that, the assurance will come, the comfort will come, and the guests will slowly, things will normalize, but at a very slow pace,
All right. Thanks very much for your perspective this afternoon. That was Dr. Joseph Mensah. He's a certified hospitality trainer with the ILO. Thank you so much. You're watching The Marketplace. You're moving on now, and rubber plantations are reeling from the effects of COVID-19 pandemic. Leading rubber producer Ghana Rubber Estate Limited says the pandemic has caused a profit loss of 25 million euros so far. The managing director has been speaking to Inathalia Kwanzaa in this report.
Mr. Barrows says Grill has had its businesses closed, production scaled back, travel and shipping disrupted, and events cancelled and postponed since February.
We just built a new factory that we inaugurated in January, and we had to stop it for 2 weeks in February. So you can imagine, you do an investment of 25 million euro, and you have to stop it 3 months later. So this was a very huge drop in our sales. It has affected a lot our turnover, and it continues as the second trend of the disease arrive in Europe and North America and South America. Then globally today, we are expecting a drop of the turnover about 25 million euros for the year. So this is enormous for a company like us. And we need to face this huge drop of turnover, trying to preserve our business for the future. Preserving our business is preserving our suppliers and preserving our employees.
He was speaking when the president of the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry and some executives visited the company's head office in Takoradi to assess the impact of the pandemic on business. Nana Dr. Aboagye-Wiafe I is the president of the chamber.
As part of our work, what we do is that we cannot sit in our various offices and know what is happening here and know their challenges. That's why we have come here. As they have told us, we are going to put them together and issue as a communique to government and also push it to the president himself, because this is a very serious issue and it is a critical issue, and we need to handle it on their behalf. Because of the pandemic, it has also affected their production, and there is likelihood that they will reduce the numbers in terms of the employees. And we want to say that if the government stimulus package will be very much appreciated to let them be sustained in business so that they can improve what they are doing for the economy.
Grill is expecting 25 million euro drop in their total turnover for the year. Inathalia Kwanzaa, JoyNews, Western Region.
And you're watching The Marketplace. There's more coming up right after this break. Welcome back to The Marketplace. We are taking you up north, where farmers have expressed worry that the COVID-19 pandemic would result in scarcity of food. However, a farmer-based organization, RMG Ghana Limited, is allaying the fears of farmers. It has launched a project called Feeding Ghana After COVID-19, which would give the farmers support to produce more. Upper West correspondent Rafiq Salam has this report.
Arguably, the twin Sisala-dominant areas are the food basket of the Upper West region. Though roads to the farms and market centers are unmotorable or inaccessible, they have been able to produce cereals like maize and soybean in several thousands of tons every year to feed themselves and also for commercial purposes. In fact, over 700,000 bags of maize was produced last year from the enclave. Over the years, farmers in the area have been supported to achieve that feat by private companies like RMG Ghana Limited, who are registered under Government Plantation for Food and Jobs program. However, in the midst of the emergence of COVID-19, the disease caused by coronavirus, which has wreaked havoc and halted growth of several economies in the world, the people are at a fix, scared and confused, wondering whether they will be able to go into their good old profession now that the rains are on. There are even speculations that there will be scarcity of food, and the people fears that they may not be able to feed themselves, let alone thinking of commercial purposes. RMG Ghana Limited therefore came to the rescue of the people with the launch of the Feeding Ghana After COVID-19 program. They handed over subsidized fertilizer, hybrid seeds, and weedicides to over 42,000 smallholder farmers in the Sisala East Municipality and Sisala West District. Asari Bediako is the project coordinator of RMG.
All the inputs that are required for them to produce will be given to them on credit. They are going to go and work with it, produce something, and come and pay back their debt. That is basically what we are doing. So, so far, in the Upper West region, we are supporting close to 11,000 farmers who are covering 42,000 acres for maize. We are doing 5,000 acres for soya, and we are doing 4,000 acres for rice. So basically, that's what we are doing.
He also allays the fears of the public regarding the scarcity of food.
With the 42,000 acres that we want to cover in the Upper West, we are looking at about 16,800 bags of seeds. We are also looking at over 250,000 bags of fertilizer, over 80,000 bags of urea, and other crop protection products. At the end of the day, we are estimating that or projecting to gather about 750,000 bags of 50 kg. That is close to about 40,000 metric tons of maize ready to serve the Ghanaian people. There is hope after COVID. There is going to be food because the farmers, as you saw, are ready to go back to their fields and plant.
Upper West Regional Minister Dr. Hafiz Bin Sali, who launched the program, was grateful to RMG Ghana Limited for coming to the aid of the people.
And in the 3 years that they have operated in our region, their activities has inured to our benefit. And it is our expectation that the image that they have carved for themselves, they will continue or even improve upon that image. They have come to change the face of agriculture in the Upper West region and have made Sisala East and Sisala West the food basket of the Upper West region.
Some of the farmers expressed their joy over the launch of the project, saying it will improve their economic well-being.
This farming has helped me and my family because at this particular time I will have no money to buy these inputs. But when these inputs come, it helped me a lot, and I am able to cultivate a lot of maize. For instance, last year like this, I was able to sell more than 150 bags for the masara, and then still left with maize in my house for consumption.
Reporting for JoyNews, Rafiq Salam, Kowie.
And that's the marketplace this afternoon. My name is Darokwa. Thanks for watching.